Hey, so I'm making this video because I recently hosted a virtual wedding. It was very successful. I would say we had almost 100 people attend and it was super fun. And I've been getting a lot of questions from other brides about how to run a virtual wedding. So I apologize. I didn't put much thought into actually making this video until I got loads of questions. And I was thinking it's probably just easier for me to make a video rather than to respond to each one. So here goes nothing. Fingers crossed this is actually helpful for you. So just give me 5 minutes. Hopefully we'll get this done nice and quick. So the first thing we did is that we made sure that our venue had really good Wi-Fi. We had actually booked a venue pre-COVID. So we've had it for a long time and they do a lot of weddings. And so I spoke with the coordinator there to make sure that they do in fact have Wi-Fi. And throughout the pandemic, people have been hosting weddings there and been able to stream it online. And they confirmed that they did. So we trusted that they had good Wi-Fi. We did buy a backup Ethernet cable though, just in case the Wi-Fi wasn't great and we wanted to connect to their router. So one of the questions I did ask the venue is how far away is their modem, like their internet router, from the room that we were using so that I could buy an appropriately long Ethernet cable. So basically, in case you're not tech savvy, maybe I'll show you what an Ethernet cable. So if you just do a quick Google, I'm going to share a screen really quickly, but if you just Google Ethernet cables, whether it's on Amazon or Google, you'll get, this is what an Ethernet cable is. You basically need to, like they have both ends that look the same, and one end goes into the router or the modem, and then the other goes into your computer or your laptop or whatever device you're using. So obviously this doesn't work if you're using a tablet or a phone or anything like that. You do need a computer or a laptop for this to work. So that's basically what we bought. We made sure we bought one that was appropriately long enough for our venue, and we had that as a backup. So once you've determined that there is strong enough internet for you, the next things that we decided to set up for us is our venue was quite large because obviously pre-pandemic we're expecting to have much more people. And so we wanted to make sure that we could give the best audiovisual experience to our guests. So the other thing that we purchased is this tripod. Whoops, what is going on? Yeah, so this is the tripod. This is basically the one that we got. So it's a freestanding one and it's tall, so you can put it on the ground. It has all these levers to let you adjust the height as needed. And although this picture does show you that it's being used for a phone, we actually had it to mount our webcam. So we also bought an external webcam because we wanted a better quality visual than either of our laptops allowed. And so this was, I believe this might have been the exact webcam that we used. I don't recall exactly. We actually borrowed a webcam from a friend because I personally didn't want to buy a lot of these things for a one-time use. I was very fortunate. I had a friend who offered to loan us a webcam. I think it might have been exactly this or something very similar. So we basically just used a lot of duct tape and mounted this like this part of the webcam onto this holder section of the tripod, so that then at the venue itself, we just moved this whole tripod around to where we needed it to be. We actually didn't end up moving it throughout the event. We just left it in one spot that we actually thought captured the whole ceremony really well. So we didn't move it around at the end. And so that's what I'd recommend you do. Most tripods, or at least the one we used, does need to be connected to a computer if you would like to have the ring light work. We actually didn't, our venue was very well lit. We didn't actually need the ring light itself. We only just needed the tripod for the height, and so that we could move around easily. And so if you don't actually need it to give you light, you don't need to have it plugged in at all. You can just have it as an item that's not connected to anything, just for you to move around. And what needs to be connected though is the webcam. And the webcam is what will need to be connected to your device, whether that's probably a laptop. I'm assuming people are not moving desktops around to their venue. So the other item we had besides the tripod and the webcam is that we also have an external mic. I'm just going to Google all these things to show you really quickly what it looked like. This is essentially the type that we bought. We had one that was connected via USB. I actually have a podcasting mic, so that's the one we ended up using. It's, I think I bought it for about $40 about a year ago. Yeah, I definitely did not spend this much on it. I might just attach a photo or a link in the description box below for the mic that we ended up using, but it's a very low-key mic and it worked really, really well. I very sure I only paid about $40 for it. And again, so the only things that were actually connected to the laptop on the day off for us was the webcam and the microphone. So the webcam, we used that obviously to present the whole video, and then the mic for us to speak so that we could be very clearly heard. And also because we were far away from our laptop, we were about 25 to 30 feet away from where the laptop was sitting on a table and from where we were actually running the ceremony. And so we just bought extender cables to connect. So if you've ever had anything, right? Like I'm trying to think of what normal things people plug into their computers. So let's say you're connecting an external hard drive to your laptop as a backup. You generally, a hard drive connects via USB for most of us, right? So imagine now that your hard drive is in another room or in your bathroom, like a good, 20, 50 feet away from where your laptop is, and you don't want to walk over. For some reason, you've decided you do not want to bring your hard drive to your laptop. You just want to leave your hard drive wherever it lives, and you want it to still connect to your laptop. So what you do is you take the USB section of your hard drive. So let me look up an image so I can describe this a bit better. Wow, it's really hard to find an image of a freaking USB cable. There we go. My apologies. Minor technical difficulties. Okay, so here is your USB, right? So basically you're going to get a USB extender cable to connect to this part of your USB to this long cable. And then the cable basically has a USB, a female and a male USB port, one for you to plug in this external hard drive or your webcam's USB into. And the other part, the other end of the extender cable is to connect into your computer. This is basically the type of this is basically the type, this is one type of extender cable that can work. So yeah, sorry, this is the type of USB extender you'd want. So on one end, it's going to plug into your existing device, and then this part is going to plug into your computer. So your webcam's USB will plug in here, and then this part will plug into your computer, so that then you just get to be further away. You're not restricted by the, I don't know, 2 to 5 feet that most devices come with. So that's basically the extent of what we used. We bought 3 of these extender cables, one for the tripod, one for the webcam, and one for the mic, just because we wanted to be really prepared for anything that the day would bring us. And we used my partner's laptop, which is a Dell laptop, and Dell laptops generally apparently have a ton of ports. So because we only need to plug in 3 things, all of them, we had no issues. Like we weren't short on ports on the computer itself to plug in these items. But if you are, there is a little USB what is it called? Like a USB adapter or something? I know that this is something you can buy. Let's see. I think it looks like that. Yeah. So you can basically buy one of these things that can plug into your computer and basically give you a bunch more USB ports than what your computer already offers. If you end up needing multiple, like I have a Mac computer and normally I only have 2 ports. So I could have bought this and then I would have had, 6 or 7 ports. So that's something you can buy as well. So I would say think about what you want for the day. I would definitely recommend having a external microphone. I definitely don't recommend relying on your laptop's mic because you might be quite far away and you obviously want your audience to hear you. Otherwise, it's a wedding. You don't want to miss anything. And the one other thing we did do is we actually recorded the whole Zoom call. So Zoom is what we used. I have a license through work, thankfully, so I didn't run into any of those issues. We had, I think we're allowed to have about 300 people call in to participate in a meeting, and there's no time limit. So we just went with Zoom, and what I did was I did record the entire meeting so that we basically had an immediate playback of our entire ceremony, which was really, really nice. And also, if you have virtual guests who are going to give speeches and things like that, it's also really nice because Zoom will capture all of it. It'll record the speech, everything. And so then when you play back, you can actually kind of watch your own wedding as if it's a movie with you in it. It's pretty cool. So that's basically what we did. Those were the tech equipment that we used. So just to recap, it's a laptop. We bought a webcam, a mic. We bought 3 extender cables. And we bought an Ethernet cable as well, just because we wanted to have a backup. So if you have any questions about doing your own virtual Zoom wedding, like I know a lot of people maybe are feeling a bit nervous about it, but honestly, if you use Zoom already, which I think most of us, a year into this pandemic probably have used Zoom at least once or twice, you can do it. It's not difficult because Zoom has the capability to have mics and cameras. So all you're doing when you're buying these external items, like a webcam and a mic like we did, all you're doing is you have to go to your computer settings and just make sure that your computer is picking up the webcam rather than your built-in camera. So right now, as I'm recording, I'm using my laptop's built-in camera. It's not amazing, but it's fine. But it's very easy if you go into your settings and you can have it change directly there to say, oh, I want you to don't use my built-in webcam, use this webcam that I've attached via USB. And most computers will pick it up automatically. And similar to the mic, you'll want to make sure the mic that it's using for input is the one that you're buying externally. The mic is the big one, I would say. Like perhaps if you have a good laptop, your webcam's fine, the quality is great. But what I will say is definitely consider investing in a mic just because they're not very expensive anyway compared to a webcam. And it really does, like everyone wants to hear it, especially if you're doing your own vows and stuff. It's really nice for you to have that own recording and for your audience as well. So that's what I would do. Feel free to leave me comments and questions and I will try and give you specific support if you would like. Obviously, this should not really replace a videographer. If you really want those, beautiful 5 to 10 minute highlight videos that most videographers can give you, this can't replace that unless you have amazing editing qualities. For us, we didn't really mind all the stuff that, a videographer could provide, like the getting ready moments and maybe the first look and all of that. If you're doing all of that, like, I don't think it'll be feasible for you to be able to organize all of that on your wedding day. So if you want a videographer for those moments, then maybe perhaps consider getting one anyway. But in terms of the actual ceremony and live streaming it, this is what this video is for. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, and good luck on your wedding.